Hello, and welcome to the Office of the Global AIDS Coordinator and Global Health Diplomacy podcast. This podcast will talk about the establishment of the Office of Global Health Diplomacy. 2016 marks the fourth year since the establishment of the Office of Global Health Diplomacy within the Department of State. As we come to the end of the Obama administration, this podcast takes a look at the accomplishments of this innovative office launched by President Obama's first Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, and developed and strengthened under Secretary Kerry. The United States government has a long and impressive history of tackling world health challenges through its development programs. Since 1990, the lives of an estimated 100 million children have been saved, due in part to the efforts of USAID. Today, around the globe, 650 more mothers and 18,000 more children per day will survive than would have each day in 1990. The President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief is in its 13th year and has made a difference in millions of lives. Thanks to PEPFAR, 9.5 million men, women, and children are receiving life-saving antiretroviral treatment. And thanks to PEPFAR, in 2015 alone, 267,000 babies that otherwise would have been born infected have been born HIV-free. Other programs include the President's Malaria Initiative and the Global Health Security Agenda. Indeed, spending on health accounts for the largest portion of U.S. foreign spending abroad. Realizing that diplomacy had a role to play in supporting and strengthening the U.S. efforts in the health field, in 2012, Secretary Clinton announced the establishment of the Global Health Diplomacy Office at the State Department. The office's mandate is to educate and raise the awareness of U.S. diplomats about global health issues, to provide resources, and to serve a convening role for the many different U.S. government agencies which have global health programs. Here, Lois Quam, former Executive Director for the Global Health Initiative, discusses the launch of the office in a 2012 State Department interview.
I'm so pleased about is we announced last week that for the first time ever, we're going to have a Global Health Diplomacy Office of the State Department. And that puts global health at the heart of what we do here at the State Department, which is about taking the energy of the United States into this space. So our ambassadors and our diplomatic leadership at the State Department will now in the future, with this support of this office, engage in global health diplomacy in a new way. That's important for us to be successful in this changing world where we've got constrained resources, but we need to bring more resources to this fight. Diplomacy is a key tool, and we're going to organize for it in a powerful way.
In the same interview, Executive Director Quam notes,
because we've played an immense role in coming in and providing resources and providing technical assistance. But we can't ever substitute for the local governments, for the national governments, and the work that they can do on behalf of their communities and citizens. We can be their partner. So it's important that we work with local partners so we understand how to be most effective. And it's important that countries increase the level of responsibility they take for their healthcare, provide more funding to it, because we have high goals, and to reach these goals, like an AIDS-free generation, the United States can't do it alone. It's going to take the government of Botswana, the government of Rwanda, all of our partner countries, and other donors like the United Kingdom and Norway who have stepped up so boldly.
And this is where the Office of Global Health Diplomacy comes in. Since the establishment of the office, approximately 60 ambassadors have received interagency briefings on the health situation of their countries before going out to their post. We have established a 3-day course on global health diplomacy and brief on average 100 diplomats a year on U.S. government health investments. We have created an online course on global health diplomacy and have provided public diplomacy resources to post. Ultimately, our goal is to provide diplomats with the information and resources they need to advocate for countries to invest in strengthening their healthcare systems. In this interview, which took place just a week after the announcement of the plans for a Global Health Diplomacy Office, Executive Director Quam noted,
and we find that in the other, I was earlier today, I was looking at USAID's programs of malaria, President's Malaria Initiative. Unbelievable results. So we have a lot to be proud of.
Yeah.
Americans can be proud of their country. And now, but what we have to do is we can never rest on our laurels.
Yeah.
And that's why we're setting up this Global Health Diplomacy Office to sort of push forward so that we can succeed in a changing world.
4 years later, the Global Health Diplomacy Office is doing just that, now as part of the Office of the Global AIDS Coordinator and Health Diplomacy. We look forward to building on what we've created in the new administration.